I call the honourable member David Bennett.
Thank you, Mr Speaker, and thank you for the opportunity to speak on the Land Transport, Road Safety and Other Matters Amendment Bill. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the Minister on bringing this series of legislation before the House. This legislation is here to deal with road safety issues. It is formulated on the basis of the Safer Journeys document, which is the Government's road safety strategy to 2020, and represents real and positive steps being made in the road safety arena that have not been made in the last decade by the previous government. It shows a fair and balanced approach, taking a measured approach, looking at what can be done now and what will actually set up for the future any further developments that the Parliament wishes to pursue. And so I'd like to congratulate the Minister on taking these initiatives, being bold and actually doing that, and pressing it through the Parliament with the support of the other parties. So I'd like to thank those other parties that are going to vote for this today. I understand that we will have a lot of support in passing this legislation, which is important in sending a signal that this government and this Parliament is serious about road safety and wishes for the best for all our drivers, young and old, to make sure that they have the ability to use and benefit from our roads in a safe and secure manner. I'd just like to thank members of the Select Committee, some that will have already spoken and will speak, for their way that they approached the issues involved. They took a very serious approach and looked to make as much change as could be made in promoting this bill so that we had the best possible piece of legislation going forward that was possible through the Select Committee process. Also to the officials here, we acknowledge the work that they did and through that process, and thank them for their efforts in bringing this bill to its fruition. Basically, the bill has two main parts to it. First is the driving age, which is now raised from 15 to 16 years of age. This is a large and major change to the driving laws, especially for young people in New Zealand. And the second part is the toughening of sanctions for serious and repeat drink drive offenders. And so those two parts are the major policy initiatives that this legislation represents. There have been arguments around about the age, whether 15, 16 or higher should be appropriate. Effectively, the age of 16 brings New Zealand into a consistent approach with Australia and other states that have shown to have had an effective approach and results from increasing that driving age. There are also rules and regulations around the supervision of and the process of getting the full driver's licence that should also ensure that young drivers become good drivers when they actually pass and able to look after themselves and other road users. The other part of the legislation which is at the forefront is the sanctions and for serious and repeat drink drive offenders, and lowering the legal youth drink drive limit, the blood alcohol concentration, the BAC, that people will hear spoken by members in this debate, to zero, is an important part of that. It's another signal for young drivers that drinking and driving is not acceptable. There will also be the introduction of alcohol interlocks for repeat offenders that have very high blood alcohol levels, and that will enable the introduction of zero drink drive limits for those serious offenders. Also, there will be further research on the risk posed by drivers with a BAC between 0.05 and 0.08, and there will be the strengthening of penalties for offences causing death, and you will see that in clause 19 of the bill, where it has the imprisonment of 10 years as a possible penalty for somebody that does cause death through drink driving. It will also allow the police to gather further evidence of those drivers involved in fatal or serious crashes, and road safety will also be promoted in a number of other ways through the collection and analysis of blood specimens and the tightening of work time requirements to prevent fatigue in certain drivers. So essentially the bill is one which is based around road safety. It is something that is in the best interests of all New Zealand drivers, and the two key parts of it relate to the age of driving and also drink driving limits. And so we see this bill as an important step in making our roads safer and also looking after our young and older drivers throughout New Zealand. And I'd like to commend it to the House and congratulate all those that are involved in making this legislation a reality today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.